And I just want to talk about the Silver King over here. This is a main regional shear area, and it runs right through the property, but we don't have any real demonstrative information on it at this point in time because the area has been covered by a glacial till. And all of the veins that exist on there today have a footprint that was discovered in the 1888, 1899 area, and they kind of followed through, and by sluicing were able to clear off some of the banks, got onto a vein and drove on it, and that's how they opened the mine up, by just going from the surface and digging into it, chasing high grade. Much like any other variations, we had Mexico or Colombia, all the other places I've been to, they just basically rabbit warrened their way through in the upper levels, and it wasn't until about 1945 is when they actually had a mining plan. So if you just take a look at the room that we're in, and up in the back row over here we have the swords and the muskets in the back on the upper row over here. That was the technology that was in place when they started the mine. And then you take a look at all the heavy weaponry around us over here. That was in vogue in 1945 when this mine actually had a mining plan where the engineers came in and said, let's turn it into something. And they mined heavily for a couple of years after. And then there was a change in the economy where everybody started to go out of precious metals and into base metals and different things. So the desire for gold dropped. So it's never really been that the mine has been out of gold or there's a problem with it. It's just a situation that the world economy changed. So the gold has always been there, and there's still certainly an awful lot left. So the Silver King shear is something that we're going to identify through drilling and through surface application of doing off some of the surface cleaning and be able to identify it a lot more. But it's a historical producer, and this is where you start getting the areas. I referred to it in one of the slides. When they first started up in the high area over here, they had one room or one drift they were working on. They had a 50-foot wall of galena, and they never hit the footwall. So you can just sort of see the type of mineralogy that exists in this shear operation. The 43101 obviously recently completed, and we've targeted that there's 350,000 ounces of inferred gold. We have measured and indicated resources as well, and we're only looking at 1% of the property suite. So I mean, there's so much more that we can look at and things we can do. We're focused on expanding the levels to move up to the 275 level, which is the level above it. And there's 5 more levels above and 1 below that's flooded that we have to dewater to go down. So there's an awful lot more to even look at just in the old footprint without looking at any of the new property over and above the 1% that's already been mined. So basically we were able to find through the drilling, looking at the structural rehabilitation of all the drill holes, we were able to find that there's actually a method to the madness. Mother Nature has given us the footprint, and by doing the re-examination of the structural geology, we've located what we're referring to as deeps, where the fault systems, the main systems all seem to come together at depth about 100 meters below where the last mine workings are. And we'll be the process of doing that drilling. So we have multiple vein systems in all directions, and this whole body basically dips to the south into the mountain range. So with a land package, we've 100% owned, 500 hectares, 60% joint venture. And so they've quadrupled their land position to 1,500 hectares, which is a significant area. So it's gone from being the Kenville mine to what we can actually refer to as the Kenville camp or the Kenville mine region, because we have that much square footage on that slope that we can actually satisfy that terminology. It's a much larger play. So the rests on the Silver King shear, as we said, and the Silver King is known to be a host for, I think, about 15 other mines that had operated in the past. So the infrastructure, they've spent upwards of $10 million on infrastructure as far as rail and air, buildings and adits and drifts, and it's all in place. So it's a mine-ready condition for the most part, and we're ready to actually start putting out ore. We've upgraded the rail system so we can come in and move our material out. We have the rails, the lokies, the mine cars, everything's in place. We have production buildings. We're in the process of putting the mill together. We have aggregate production areas as well, sort of covering the surface, and we've upgraded the roadways and their ability to move around on the property itself. So as I said, we're minutes from Melson, so all the people can go home at night, so you don't have to worry about the extra cost of mining and having to satisfy bringing a camp and housing your workers, and so our cost per ton is almost embarrassingly low compared to any other producer that's out there, and that information is in the report and available from the engineer, but certainly a good number. And we have year-round access, 365. We don't have to worry about seasonality. Once we're underground, it's always the same. A little dark, but it's okay. We have power. We have even the ability to generate our own power because we're in Crown-granted areas with vertical separation, so we could actually generate our own power to a certain extent. This is just a view of the mine when I first found it. I'm kind of an enigma here. I came for the day, the July 31st, 2008, and I'm still there. It's one of those things that just catches your attention and you want to be part of it. And so for 14 months I've been trying to figure out the story of the Kenville, and I'm just starting to get a handle on it right now. So what you see over here is just the old mill situation sitting here, and this is currently what they have, but this whole mill area has been upgraded, expanded, and equipment is sitting in here, so it's a dated photo. I took this back at I guess it was August of 2008. So we've done an awful lot of drilling on the property, 2007, 2008, and you can just sort of see what we've identified, something called the Eagle vein system. We've identified that there's actually 4 veins that are there, and in the later analysis and putting it in with the Silver King, it appears that there's a possibility that the Eagle vein system that they have is actually it's parallel to, certainly, and maybe part of the Silver King shear. So that's always a good thing to have. We're adding to the existing resources, underground drilling, surface drilling. We're going to drift underneath the Eagle vein system from what we call the KP50, or one of the underground drifts, and get underneath these systems, because the ability to be able to drift and move ahead. We do our drilling for structure, and we do our grade analysis by drifting. So that's the beauty of being able to do this. We've got some fantastic drifts that are available, and anybody that wants to come and take a look at the mine, please come do. Just a couple of shots of the type of grade. There's 3 shots here. Just want to take a look at the different types of material that's here. This is one of the veins. This is 10-ounce ore from the North Ewell. And then right above it, we've got some 7-ounce ore from the North Ewell as well. But it's a different mineralogy. And this is from the jewelry box area. We have a large flat stope area. And you can just sort of see the differences on there, because there's lined the galena on the top and massive sulfides below, and the different massive systems. So it's not one type of vein, one type of geology. Seems like every drift you go down, you get a different story. So our drilling program underground will spider this and try to determine the structure, and we'll be able to figure out what we've got. We also have an area called, we call it the Green Copper River, because of the malachite leaking out of the structure above. So that indicates that there's certainly a high degree amount of copper, and the copper and gold are associated in this. And it's a fabulous area that we're not going to mine, because it's actually unique mineralogy that's under there. It's a museum piece. So the share structure, this is something I don't really know much about. You can talk to Len about, because I'm the only guy on the planet that can ever own a share of this thing, because I'm the independent QP. But you can just sort of see the market cap and the numbers that are up there. And I don't really understand it, because I never really get involved in shares, because I can never own them. So the initial 43-101, we've got the resource of 350,000 ounces of inferred, and that's only from one level, from a 6-level mine that covers 1% of the property suite. So just to give you an idea of what's left out there to work on. The contiguous drilling is going to start. The bulk sampling program will be looking at the mill facility, and they've got a brokered placement of $2 million from Kingsdale in September. So this is the management. Len Dannard is the president. He's here, and this is the rest of the guys. So you should give an information sheet with that. And that's it. So thank you for your time.